taking care of business. Those early risers, our fellow rise and dark people that are, exactly.
Yeah, our alarm rings.
Everyone always says rise and shine. We're up before it's shining.
Rise and dark. That's a good way to put it. Yep.
Dark crew. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Some people are just now getting off of work.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, that's a reality for so many different industries. Or, you know, it's President's Day. Some people are off.
True.
We are not, clearly.
Hats off to our early risers out there. There's plenty of folks that have odd shifts here in the county, and we want to applaud your efforts.
Yes, so we'll get to that. For now, though, we do want to get you ready for the weather changes that are coming.
That's
so let's check in with Evan.
Good morning to you. Yeah, we've got showers on the way. So today is going to be a very light day overall with the activity that we have in the forecast. It's going to remain really cloudy throughout the majority of the day. A few chances for the sun to peek out across your coast through your inland valleys. Rain showers going to be most apparent over the mountaintops. Snow levels still above about 4,000 feet for today. Wind across the deserts mainly dry. Looks like your coastline and inland valleys will pick up on maybe a few 1/100ths of an inch at times. Again, today is going to be the light, less impactful round before we start to see more wet weather head our way and all of these winter-related watches, warnings, and advisories take effect. So wind advisory across the coastline that takes effect tomorrow. Winter storm warning takes effect tomorrow, and high wind warning takes effect today at 10 a.m. So the bulk of activity is going to take place from about Tuesday night into Wednesday. But between then and really until then, we're going to see things like this. This is the cloud cover that's significant right now. A few very light showers overall. Don't rule it out by any means. And cooling temperatures each and every day. We'll jump into more details in that in just a few minutes. Let's take a look at what's going on in traffic this morning. So far, things are light on the road. No big surprise. It is President's Day, so we do not have quite as much of a volume on the roads. I want to take you to the Escondido area. It does look like the right-hand shoulder is blocked with a crash on the 15 southbound at the Villa Rancho Parkway exit. Besides that, though, you are good to go as you head out for the morning. Back to you.
All right, Evan, thank you so much. And now this morning, San Diegans paying the highest gas prices in our county's history. Right now, the average $4.74 a gallon for regular.
It's tough to see the total as it just tallies up there. CBS 8's Dana Marie McNichol live in Kearney Mesa with why these prices are expected to even go higher here. Good morning.
Good morning to you both. It's a tough sight to see when you're driving needing gas, and it's close to $5 a gallon. You can see those prices right behind me at $4.99 for regular gas. Now, it has increased 18 times over the past 20 days, so customers, locals here in San Diego are definitely seeming frustrated about these hikes.
$60, $70. And I ride a motorcycle, so I can save gas. So this is for driving my wife around, so we don't use as much, but still very expensive.
Gas is really expensive.
I think we're being gouged.
Now, the country is dealing with inflation stemming from economic recovery of the pandemic. That's just one of many things, according to AAA, why recent months gas prices have continued to rise. Now, $4.74 is the record high here for regular gas. It just hit that here in San Diego. Now, in the last year, it's increased by $1.21. Other things that's contributing to this: geopolitical tension between Russia and Ukraine. Russia is the third largest oil producer in the world, and with supply being disrupted, it is putting upward pressure on crude oil prices. Then the switch over to the summer blend has contributed to seeing those alarming numbers, as well as Senate Bill number 1, bringing an automatic gas tax hike every summer. Many are hoping Governor Newsom can delay it this summer. Now let's take a look at some of those prices all over the county. According to Gas Buddy price reports, the cheapest station in San Diego is priced at $4.19 today, while the most expensive is at $5.39 a gallon. That difference being $1.20. So the lowest price in the state, though, all over California, is $3.89, with the highest $6.69. That is tough to hear. I've seen people on social media actually posting their gas prices in LA. Thankfully, San Diego hasn't hit that price just yet, over $6. But again, here in Kearney Mesa, just under $5, but across the street at the Arco station from Chevron, it's about 30 cents cheaper. So if you're thinking about filling up today, take a look at those prices across the street around the area. Maybe you can find a deal depending on those prices. But again, here in San Diego, we're just trying to keep up with those gas prices. A couple of different things here contributing to that. Live in Kearney Mesa, I'm Dana Marie McNichol. Send it back to you.
Didn't think you? Well, time may be running out for a peaceful resolution to the Ukraine crisis. President Biden has accepted an offer to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin.
But the White House believes plans for an invasion are already in the works. Bradley Blackburn has the latest.
President Biden and Russian President Vladimir Putin have agreed in principle to a face-to-face meeting to discuss the standoff over Ukraine.
President Biden has made very clear that he's prepared to meet President Putin at any time, in any format, if that can help prevent a war.
The timing and location of a possible summit have yet to be determined. The details will be arranged during Thursday's sit-down between Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. The White House stressed that there will be no talks if Russia attacks Ukraine. At least 150,000 Russian troops are now in position along that nation's border. Sources tell CBS News those soldiers have already received orders to invade.
I don't believe it's a bluff. I think it's he's assembled the right the kinds of things that you would need to conduct a successful invasion.
President Biden convened a meeting of the National Security Council on Sunday. The administration says Russia faces severe economic sanctions if it moves against Ukraine.
I mean, listen, guys, we're talking about the potential for war in Europe.
This weekend, President Putin oversaw military drills that included nuclear-capable missiles. The Russian leader has demanded an end to NATO's expansion into Eastern Europe, but says Russia has no plans to invade Ukraine. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Now, thousands of Russian troops were supposed to leave Belarus after wrapping up 10 days of joint military exercises yesterday. However, the two nations said the soldiers' deployment had been extended indefinitely. People of all ages coming together here. This is the crisis reaching our local Ukrainian community in San Diego. Quite a few Ukrainians do live here, and dozens of people, as you see, gathering at Balboa Park yesterday to show support for their families and friends who are there. The gathering also served as a day of remembrance for the people killed in the past 8 years while in conflict with Russia. Now, turning to this news here, quite bizarre, but a woman is okay after she had to be rescued from a chimney at her own home. So you see the crews on the roof there. Police say they were called to the house on Allegheny Street in Paradise Hills about 5 yesterday afternoon. When they got there, they found the woman in the chimney upside down. She was stuck about 6 feet off the ground. Officers say the woman had some type of disturbance with her family right before that happened and tried to use the chimney to get back inside.
The U.S. Supreme Court has declined to grant an emergency order blocking San Diego Unified's vaccine mandate. The court says an emergency order is not warranted at this time because the district has delayed implementing the policy. This all began when one student sued the district because their vaccine policy didn't allow religious exemptions. The court says they could reconsider the case if circumstances should change. Well, California's mask mandate for schools is expected to last at least one more week. The state says they will reassess on February 28th, but the Poway Unified School District wants clarity before then. The superintendent sent a letter to the governor saying it has become nearly impossible to continue enforcing the mandate. They say students are protesting and some local businesses are incentivizing kids to defy the mandate with rewards. We talked to parents on both sides of the issue.
We're treating healthy kids as if they're sick, and that becomes the problem.
It's really not that big of a deal. It's just like, you know, they have to wear shoes in the classroom, and right now they have to wear masks in the classroom.
Poway Unified wants the state to use county health data for their decision, saying San Diego's COVID case rates and hospitalizations have fallen rapidly. They want a timeline for easing mask requirements as soon as possible.
All right, let's turn it over to Evan now. Usually at this time, I text my husband on how to dress Roya.
Okay, so here's the thing. It's not going to be too impactful as far as the showers go for today. You can already, though, see some of those dark, stormy clouds. We're expecting less than 1/10 of an inch today, so very light accumulations, maybe a few 1/100ths of an inch. But by the time we get into Tuesday into Wednesday, that's where things really pick up. Roya is, however, going to want a jacket on hand. It is going to be cooler today, and those temperatures get colder colder and colder each day between now and Wednesday. So by Wednesday afternoon, we're looking at those afternoon high temperatures about 15 to 20 degrees below normal. So we are cooling down quite a bit each day as this low sinks in. View on satellite radar shows those light showers that have popped up as we speak. Again, this is maybe going to incline a little bit of use for that windshield wiper, but besides that, nothing too impactful for this afternoon. Even a chance for a little bit of the sun to peek through at times. Things start to intensify Tuesday into Wednesday. We've got more showers on the way. Accumulations closer to ½ an inch in total for today through Wednesday. So these 3 days as a whole, this is going to be all that wet weather that we have for the week. We could use more. We've been way below average on our totals. This will definitely add to what we need. And again, we're looking at about ½ an inch toward the greater coastline with heavier accumulations as you head inland and, of course, toward your mountaintops. Next 12 hours shows our best shot at wet weather between about 7 a.m. and noon. And then beyond that, we'll drop back down to a pretty steady 10% maybe chance of showers. A little bit of the sun peeking through toward those afternoon hours, too. So important to keep in mind, we're not ruling out the chance of the sun being out at a few portions of the day, just peeking through clouds, and we're also not ruling out a chance for some light showers too. Again, when all is said and done, things are going to be light for today. You could see maybe a few spots with a 1/100th of an inch coming in, or 1/10 of an inch, I should say, for Fallbrook, Escondido, and Alpine, but beyond that, a few 100ths. And then if we fast forward all the way into your Wednesday, by the time we get through Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 9 p.m., this is what totals look like. About 3/10 of an inch for Carlsbad, 2/10 for Del Mar, ½ an inch for Poway, 6/10 of an inch for Ramona, Escondido moving closer to an inch, and then your mountains, heavier accumulations with even some moderate amounts of snow. Let's take a look at what's going on in traffic. It is President's Day, so things are very light on the road as we kick off your Monday morning. One thing that I do want to take you to is off on the 15. It looks like around the 15, right-hand shoulder is blocked in the Escondido area at exit 27 via Rancho Parkway. Right now, no major slow speeds around the area as volume remains light. They're working to make sure that crash is cleared, but again, not blocking any lanes right now, just on that right-hand shoulder.